and welcome back to the channel. My name is Katie. If you saw the title of today's video, this is going to be a little bit of a heavier one. This is one I'm really passionate about. I mean, I like all the things I talk about, right? I do like all the things I cover. I do have passion, but this one really hits close to home. It's something I've wanted to talk about for a while, and this is about Wendy Williams. We are Britney Spearsing Wendy Williams. It's a verb. Is that a verb now? Is Britney now a verb for what we do to women in this society? Basically, what I am seeing right now, and I feel like, and I'm not saying nobody's talking about it, but very few people are bringing this up, that Wendy Williams is being held captive, in my opinion, by many different people and entities who think that they own her. So it's amazing when I hear people say, how did this happen to Britney? What do you mean, how did it happen? It still happens. It's still happening. And I wanted to bring this up because a lot of this deals with not just her banks doing this to her, but her really awful ex-husband who cheated on her for years, just had a baby with somebody else, and pretty much forced her into possibly fake rehab. There's so much going on with this, but now this guy just won't shut up. He won't shut up, and she is in a bind. She recently lost her TV show. She has a ton of health issues. I have a lot of compassion for her. And now I think with Wendy, because she has been somebody who's, talked about celebrities, gone after celebrities, a lot of people end up not having as much compassion for her situation and would look it over. And I get it, guys. I get it. But she is a self-made woman, regardless of what you think about her, okay? She's a self-made woman, and no woman should be being controlled by their banks. Especially if she is having some health issues and health crises. Why isn't her family there? Why are banks? Banks have basically tied up her money and not let her get access to it. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and to me, this looks like they are trying to do similar to what they did to Britney. With Britney, they used a mental health angle. I think they're also doing that here, as well as she has had issues with substance abuse in the past. But at the end of the day, here's my thing. Kanye West clearly has mental health issues. I don't say that to be mean. First of all, when I say that, I even question that, because in a place like Hollywood, is it that all these stars are mentally ill, or is it that Hollywood is so sick there's no way to actually survive it in a sane way? Is it the fact that Hollywood is insane and they are just trying to cope with that insanity? And that's more what I think when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And I'm not here to judge anybody's mental health. I'm not here to diagnose anybody. I'm not here to put it down. I'm not here to try. I don't want to speculate too much about it, but what I am saying is I think when I look at the situation with Kanye, and I'm like, Kanye has had no repercussions for anything he's ever said or done. And I'm not even saying he should. He gets to speak freely. Even if, let's say he's mentally ill, he gets to say what he wants, right? But why is it women, if it's suspected they have mental illness, we can own and control them, own their money, what they do with their money, what they do with their career choices, but people like Kanye and how many other crazy celebrities get to run scot-free that are men? Does it make a lot of sense? Make it make sense. So guys, if you like content like this, I would love to have you around for more videos, so make sure and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm giving away a $100 gift card August 1st. Very simple, almost nobody's doing it, so to be eligible, this is all you have to do. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch a video from start to finish. Boom, you're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do. Do it for every video you see too, because the more times you do it, the more times you're entered. And like I said, I'll announce the winner August 1st. So I want to do a little bit of a deep dive. Let's go back a little bit, and I want to explain to those of you who are new to this situation what this is. Wendy Williams is a famous radio, TV host, personality. She had a very successful radio show. She talked a lot about celebrities, celebrity gossip, and then she went on to have a very successful TV run. But the last 3 years have been shaky for her. First of all, for years, there were rumors that her husband, who was an executive producer on the show, was not a good guy. He was cheating on her. He was, this is YouTube, I have to be careful how I word it, scary to her and to staff members, and that he was all around not a good person. Now, we know over the years, Wendy has battled addiction issues with substance abuse, so that has been a thing. However, things started coming to a head about 3 years ago because it started to show up in her show. She actually collapsed on her show. You guys remember this. It was very, very scary. She was in a Statue of Liberty costume and she collapsed. I remember when I saw that, I saw a woman whose body was done with everything that had been going on between her and her husband. For years, she and her husband had denied there was any cheating allegations, but his longtime mistress finally got pregnant and everything came to a head. Here's the sad thing. When that happened, Wendy decided she wanted to try to get away from the situation finally. And he did everything he could to basically put her under lock and key, including she said she was going to go to a rehab. I still question. She was basically, the way she's explained it and come out with it, and this is in 2019, forced to go to a rehab to get help. Kevin, pretty much from what we understand, kind of put her there against her will. And people will argue she had substance abuse issues. I'm not saying she did at the time. I'm not saying she didn't. But from what I look at and from what I understand, I question it all heavily because it looks to me as though Kevin was legally trying to shut her up and scare her and literally control her. And so she had to fight to get her freedom back from this guy in front of the whole world. And we're all watching, and so many of us are like, we see what's going on. And she was able to do it. And she was able to overcome it. So she got rid of, his name's Kevin Hunter, or Kelvin. Got rid of him. He and that woman had the baby. And she went back to her show. Everybody was cheering her on. Now, she suffers from some chronic health issues. And my heart goes out to her because you guys know I'm disabled. I suffer from some stuff. Even though I'm going into remission and I'm getting better, I will probably always be disabled. I will probably never be able to really work in a normal job. It's kind of something I've accepted. Maybe. I also don't really want to. But I mean, if I had to, I could. Your girl can hustle, right? So on top of all of this, she was going through all of these health issues. She had to stop wearing high heels because of that. So on her show, she'd wear flats because she'd get swelling, emphysema in her legs, which I, again, totally understand. If you guys look at me, I keep shrinking and shrinking, but my face still looks kind of bloated. It's because of my chronic health issues. It's getting better and it will get better, but I used to have really cut cheekbones. I didn't have this weird-ish double chin, but that's okay because it's a part of my body's process. My point is to say I understand chronic swelling in your body, chronic inflammation, and what that can do. So what's crazy is Wendy Williams recently, for a while, and we're still trying to keep up to date on this, had no access to her money because her financial guardianship, this is crazy. Her bank put her under financial guardianship. For what? For what? We're going to get into that, but then the big thing is her ex-husband now is speaking out, and he won't shut up. Now, here's the thing. Because of all these issues she's had with her health, she stopped going to her show. She stopped going. We don't have all the details into what's going on and why, but they replaced her with Sherry Shepherd, and she lost her show. Now, she's been screaming, hey, I was ready to go back to work. This situation isn't fair. So we're still trying to get the details, and apparently she is doing her own podcast, which I'm really, really happy about. But I wanted to talk about this because, again, people say, how could people have done this to Britney in this day and age? We're still doing it. We're still doing it. So let's dive in and let's take a look. So this article's a little bit older, but I want to give you some information, then we're going to go into some of the newer stuff. It says, Wendy Williams placed under financial guardianship. TV host claims misconduct by Wells Fargo. Amazing. It says, the chain of events that culminated this week with the installment of a financial guardian over Wendy Williams's finances started with a simple request from the TV personality to check her bank statements, according to her attorney, LaShawn Thomas. Williams, suspecting misconduct by her financial advisor, wanted to switch banks and needed her most recent statements to do so. When Wells Fargo refused, it claimed in a petition for guardianship that Williams is an incapacitated person. The bank argued that she's a victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. By who? And she's how is she incapacitated? Because she has health issues? On what grounds is she? How does a bank do this? And they get away with this, guys. How are they doing this? It says, a New York judge on Thursday appointed a guardian over Williams's finances until July, Thomas said. A temporary guardian has been in place since March when the judge agreed with Wells Fargo that one is necessary while the case is pending. Okay, then why isn't it a family member? She has a right in any capacity to be able to change banks. How crazy is this? I'm sorry, it blows my mind. Wendy Williams doesn't agree with a financial guardian being appointed, Thomas told The Hollywood Reporter. If it's the court's intention to have one appointed over her affairs for the long haul, she definitely isn't going to accept. I just don't understand how the bank can legally get away with doing that. In an affidavit to New York Supreme Court, Williams stated that Wells Fargo improperly denied her access to her money, insane, leading her to default or risk defaulting on several bills. She accused a Wells Fargo financial advisor of lying that she's mentally unstable as a basis to lock her out of her accounts. Okay, so where are those records? Where are the mental health records? And even if that's the case, how can a bank legally do that? Despite the decision to terminate the advisor as a result of her improper conduct in relation to my accounts, Wells Fargo continues to deny me access to my financial assets and statements, the affidavit reads. The case, which has been sealed, took a turn in March when Bernie Young, Williams' former manager who was fired by the TV personality, moved to be placed as the guardian for the court. In a video posted to Instagram, Williams claimed Young improperly used her money, roughly $10,000, to hire a law firm to pursue guardianship over her. Absolutely disgusting. So, in March, she fires... Okay, so it says... Let's read this again. The case, which has been sealed, took a turn in March when Bernie Young, Williams' former manager who was fired by the TV personality, moved to be placed as a guardian. Why would the court place somebody that Williams fired as a manager? Why would you do that? Bernie Young Entertainment did not respond to a request for comment. Thomas, who said her client is doing really, really good after receiving treatment for Graves' disease and thyroid issues. Is that why she's incapacitated? Makes me so mad. Suspects that there's something someone has done with Williams' money and that the bank is attempting to hide something. Obviously, something's going on. The bank declined to comment when contacted by THR. Wells Fargo in 2020 agreed to pay a $3 billion fine to settle a civil lawsuit and criminal protection over fraudulently opening millions of savings and checking accounts without customers' consent to meet sales quotas. Good job, guys. Good job. Predatory. Oh, it makes me so mad. Addressing ongoing rumors about her mental and physical health on Good Morning America, Williams said that in March that she's absolutely of sound mind and will be ready to return to a set in 3 months, talking about her TV show. She claimed the people looking to take advantage of her are responsible for concerns of her competency. When people want to control your accounts, they say anything, including something crazy like that about me. Yep. So I want you guys to understand, this is part of what's going on with Williams, right? Now, let's take it a step further. This one drives me absolutely nuts. The ex that did all these awful things to her, right, says Wendy Williams' ex, Kevin Hunter, says she wasn't given enough time to recover from his infidelity and her health issues, and it's disheartening. Gee, you think? Hey, Kevin, do you think the trauma that you did to her put her body, and it did so much to her nervous system that it damaged her nervous system? This is what people don't understand. They say, that which doesn't, end you makes you stronger. Well, yes. However, trauma can make you physically ill. Trauma can screw up your whole body. Screws up your nervous system, can affect immune system function. When you're under that much constant stress, PTSD, trauma, your cortisol goes sky high. All these different hormones go out of whack. This is part of what I feel has happened to me with underlying health issues and genetic stuff that my family line has suffered from for a long time. Being under PTSD and constant trauma from horrible relationships and the way I grew up has really, really screwed up my body, and we're fixing it. We're getting there. I'm very lucky and very blessed that I've been able to find ways to begin to overcome this. But a lot of people don't. So it really makes me mad that he's speaking, well, she shouldn't give him. How about you shut your mouth and deal with your new baby? I'm sorry. I have very little compassion for somebody. I'm going to say it, and people might be mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. Hey, Kevin Hunter, you ruined her body. You want to talk about who made her sick? You and all the stress you put her under. So how about you shut your mouth? And if you're going to try to help her get her accounts back. I try to be fair and unbiased, but I'm also going to call things out when I see it, and I don't want to be some raging, angry person about it. But I've just seen this time and time again, and it drives me nuts that nobody is speaking out, or I don't see nobody, but very few people are speaking out for Wendy on this. And I think they should. It says Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, is revealing more about why he believes the Wendy Williams show went off the air. And he includes himself as one of the reasons, you think? The Jasmine brand reports that Hunter said in a recent interview with YouTube personality Choke No Joke that the production company behind the Wendy Williams show, Debmar Mercury, were not interested in supporting Williams after her health became even more problematic. It says, the show ended because of the negligence of her production company in regards to realizing how severe her health was, he said. And when you're in a situation where you were just busy trying to divide and conquer, you remove something instead of focusing on what's really going on. I mean, everybody unfortunately got a chance to see her pass out on national television, and it was mortifying, and you would think that after that happened, they would have put certain things in place, he continued. In some sort of department to deal with any kind of crisis or any kind of help she may really need. I don't know, Hunter, maybe they were dealing with how you were on set, how scary you were to people, how you were affecting all of that, how you were probably the cause of her fainting, you and that new baby, and all that infidelity. You think about that? It just makes, I mean, it's, on the one hand, I'm glad that he is speaking out and defending her, but I don't think he fully takes responsibility for what's happened to her. And you know what? Most men who are like that don't. They never do. I don't want to say never. Some people do get better and grow and change. It just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. And it says, Hunter said the reason for Williams passing out in that now infamous clip from her Halloween episode was a mixture of her thyroid condition, being overworked, dehydrated, just not taking care of yourself personally, and the stress and the trauma that you put her through consistently, Kevin, that made all this happen. It says, now luckily, soon after that, with the proper hydration and, getting her heart rate stable, she was fine, he continued, but it was a scary sign then. And like I said, you would think that from then they would put certain things in place in case it gets worse. Hey, Kevin, you were in the show at that time still. Why didn't you do it? You were her husband. Why didn't you put these things in place for her? Or were you too busy trying to hide the fact that Mistress was about to have a baby and you didn't want Wendy to say anything? Keep it under wraps because it's all about your image. Or it was. This makes me mad. He also said it was disheartening for him to see so many guest hosts take over Williams' purple chair when she was out tending to her health during the final season, calling it a race for the seat, which it was. It was real disheartening because most of the people would not reach out to see if you're doing good, he said. When it becomes a race for the seat, you can't take it. In any other business, you can't just remove something that was great and just put something else there. Well, I agree. And I think whatever they do put there is going to fail. No disrespect to Sherry Shepherd, but it's going to fail because it's the Wendy Williams show. This is about Wendy. This isn't Sherry. Now, Sherry wants her own show. Great. It looks like she's getting her own show. Wendy is Wendy. She is her own powerful force of nature. Love her, hate her, whatever. So I agree with that. He said that when he was working as Williams' manager, he would make sure to protect Williams' position by getting people in who would fill that void properly, such as suggesting Williams' friend Nick Cannon host during a period of time when Williams was away during a prior season. Well, great, Kevin, but you could have also just stopped her from being sick by not doing the things you did to her. But what's most illuminating is that Hunter addresses his hand in Williams' mental health. Toward the end of the show's run, news came to light of Hunter's relationship with his longtime mistress, including the birth of a child outside of Hunter's marriage. Hunter said that Williams didn't have enough time to process the changes in their relationship or focus on her sobriety. You know what? It's nice that you're like, I caused her so much trauma that she needed to heal from me. They didn't give her enough time to heal from the trauma I did. Real nice way of putting that. In a perfect world, Debmar Mercury, in the midst of my situation with having a baby and getting through a divorce, with her situation of coming out of a sober house, they did not take or give that time the person they would need going through severe amount of crisis. The crisis that you caused, Kevin. So I wanted to point this out. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this because, again, I've done a lot of covering, especially on TikTok, about Britney Spears. Lots and lots of covering. I was one of the first voices who said that something isn't right, and I got a lot of crap for it before we knew what was going on. And I am in that position because, guys, what I've been through with my physical health over the years, I've had everybody under the sun, medical doctors and my own family and friends, try to gaslight me and tell me there's nothing wrong with me, you are mentally ill. And it turns out I have a nervous system condition, a heart condition, and my immune system is compromised. I have a histamine disorder. On top of all the PTSD and trauma that I have been through. At the height of me being as sick as I was, fighting for my life and almost not being on the planet, I had people in my family who made a campaign to try to get me into a mental hospital, saying it was anxiety. My heart condition was anxiety. Thank God it took so long, but as of 3 years ago, I was able to get what we think is almost fully diagnosed. There's maybe a few things that we don't know about. But once I got diagnosed, then I was told you'll never get better. No, your girl can't be disabled. I can't do that. I mean, I am, but I have to work. I don't have a lifestyle set up for that. So I found every medical and alternative solution to get myself better. And you see me as I am today, and I'm able to make these videos, and I look so much better, and I'm getting where I need to be. But the reason I'm so passionate about this is because for some reason in our society, we still think we own and control women. You think because Britney's free or freer, you think it doesn't happen. How could this happen? How could this have ever happened? In this day and age, it still is. And Wendy Williams is a perfect example, and I'd like to use my voice to speak up on what's going on with her, because regardless of whether or not you like her or hate her, it's not right. Okay guys, if you like this video and you want to keep up to date on this topic, love to have you around. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Would like to have you. And also, you want to win my $100. Really simple. Nobody's doing it. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, watch this video from start to finish. Boom. You're entered. You're eligible. That's all you have to do. Do it for every video you see, because the more likes, the more shares, the more comments, the more times you watch from start to finish, the more chances you have of winning my money. Okay guys, I think that's it for me here. Take care, lots of love, lots of blessings. I will keep you up to date on this. And as always, I'm giving everybody hugs. Mwah! Kisses, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys!